Did you know that some meats, commonly found on our dinner plates, could be silently impacting your health after 60? From increasing the risk of heart disease to affecting memory, certain choices might be doing more harm than good. But don't worry, today we'll uncover 4 meats to avoid and introduce 4 healthier alternatives that can support your well-being and longevity. Mr. Tanaka is the kind of man everyone in the neighborhood knows. He's 68, retired from a lifetime of teaching high school math, and now spends most mornings tending to his orchids or strolling the small park near his home. Every day starts the same: 2 slices of toast, a few pieces of bacon, maybe a sausage or 2 if the fridge allows. "I've eaten this way since I was 25, he often says with a chuckle. "Why change now?" At lunch, he likes to keep things simple. A little bowl of rice, some pickled vegetables, and always a bit of leftover meat, usually from the night before. He loves grilled pork ribs, slow-cooked beef stew, or a small portion of stir-fried liver with ginger. For dinner, if his grandchildren are visiting, it's often fried chicken or a special hot pot with slices of marbled beef. It's what he's used to, what feels hearty, comforting, and familiar. But lately, something's been off. He notices it when he gets up from the tatami mat. His knees creak more than usual. His afternoon naps, once refreshing, now stretch longer, leaving him groggy. The Sudoku puzzles he used to breeze through in 10 minutes take double the time, and sometimes he forgets where he put his glasses, even when they're on his head. He laughs it off. "That's just age," he tells his wife, but inside, a small worry begins to grow. He visits the doctor for his yearly checkup. Nothing alarming. His blood sugar is a bit high, cholesterol a tad elevated, and blood pressure on the upper end. The doctor asks him about his meals, and Mr. Tanaka proudly lists his usual dishes. The doctor frowns slightly, not unkindly. "You might want to rethink some of those meat choices," she says, "especially the processed ones, the fried ones. They're not as harmless as they once were." Mr. Tanaka doesn't say much, but that evening, sitting alone at the kitchen table while his wife prepares dinner, he finds himself staring at a slice of bacon on his plate. Something that once brought him joy now brings a pause. Could it be that these familiar flavors, so rich in memory, are no longer serving his body? He wonders, not just about the food, but about how little changes, unnoticed for years, can build up like whispers in the body. A little stiffness here, a little forgetfulness there. He thought it was all just part of getting older. But maybe, just maybe, some of it isn't age at all. Maybe it's what's on his plate. That night, as Mr. Tanaka pushes aside his dinner, his wife notices. "You're not eating the sausage?" she asks, surprised. "It's your favorite." He smiles faintly. "I read something today, made me think." The next morning, instead of heading straight to the market, he stops by the local library. He doesn't tell anyone, but he checks out a few books on nutrition and aging. He reads slowly, carefully, and what he discovers unsettles him. He learns that the processed meats he's loved for decades, sausages, ham, bacon, aren't just salty or a bit fatty. They contain nitrates, preservatives used to make them look fresh and taste savory. But inside the body, those compounds can turn into nitrosamines, chemicals linked to cancer, especially colorectal cancer, which is on the rise among older adults. His heart sinks. He thinks of the breakfast plate he's relied on since his 20s. Could that tiny slice of bacon be slowly writing a story his body never agreed to? He flips the page and finds something else. Red meats, beef stew, pork ribs, lamb curry, the dishes that made family dinners feel warm, nourishing. He reads how these meats, especially when grilled or cooked at high temperatures, can trigger the release of substances that inflame the body, substances that sneak into the joints, the blood vessels, even the brain. It's not immediate, it's not dramatic, but over time that steak might be feeding the fire behind his morning stiffness, his cloudy thoughts. Then there's liver. For someone over 65, it's easy to tip the balance. A little extra cholesterol doesn't always show up on the outside, but inside, it clogs arteries, strains the heart, raises blood pressure, silent, steady, dangerous. And just when he thinks he's read enough, he stumbles on the section about fried meats. Crunchy, golden, irresistible. He recalls weekends with his grandchildren, laughing around the table with plates of fried chicken. But the oil, especially reused oil, which is common in restaurants, breaks down into toxic compounds when heated repeatedly. Those compounds don't just sit in the stomach. They enter the bloodstream, burden the liver, slow the kidneys, and send waves of inflammation through the body. He closes the book, sits back, and stares out the window. He's not scared exactly, but something in him shifts, a quiet recognition that his body, so strong for so many years, has been speaking in a language he didn't fully understand. The joint pain, the slower memory, the fatigue, it may not all be age. It might be a price he's unknowingly paid for taste, habit, and tradition. He thinks about his friends, his neighbor who had a stroke last year, the man from his walking group who was just diagnosed with colon cancer. Could these everyday foods, passed around the dinner table, really be that powerful? He feels a mix of sadness and clarity, because now he knows, and once you know, you can't unknow. 2 weeks later, Mr. Tanaka receives a phone call. It's from his daughter. "Dad, Uncle Hiroshi's in the hospital." His older brother, just a few years his senior. A strong man, a stubborn man, the kind who never skipped a barbecue, who joked that vegetables were for rabbits. They said it started with fatigue, then confusion, then a fall. The scans showed multiple blockages in his arteries, early signs of vascular dementia. The doctor said the damage had been building up for years, quietly, without warning. Mr. Tanaka listens in silence. He doesn't say what's racing through his mind, the bacon they both grew up eating, the fried pork cutlets they devoured every Sunday, the way they used to joke about real men needing meat. That night, he can't sleep. He walks into the kitchen, opens the fridge, and just stands there. The light glows dimly over neatly stacked containers, sliced ham, ground beef, a tray of marinated ribs, all things he once reached for without thinking. He closes the fridge slowly. At the table, he sits in the dark. He remembers something his wife said once, after a close friend was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. What if we spend our whole life building memories, only to have them stolen at the end? In that moment, something inside him breaks, then settles, a quiet decision, not out of fear, but out of love, for his wife, for the long walks, for the puzzles, for the taste of tea in the morning, for being here, truly here. He knows now that food is not just about fullness, it's about function. Every bite is a signal, to heal or to harm. A choice, subtle but powerful, repeated day after day. He gets up, opens a drawer, and begins making a list. Not of what to buy, but of what to change. No more pretending. No more thinking he can eat like he's still 30. The body remembers what the mind forgets, and now he's ready to listen. The next morning, Mr. Tanaka returns to the market, but this time he walks past the sausages, past the beef ribs, past the fried food stall that used to lure him with its golden scent. Instead, he heads to the fishmonger's corner, somewhere he hasn't spent much time before. The woman behind the counter smiles. "Back again?" He nods. "This time I want to try something new." She wraps up a few slices of salmon, fresh and firm. "Omega-3s," she says, "good for the heart. My grandmother swore by it, lived to 95. That evening, Mr. Tanaka grills the salmon lightly, a squeeze of lemon, no salt. He eats slowly, carefully, feeling the texture, the softness, the richness, not just of flavor, but of purpose. Omega-3s, he learned, aren't just good fats. They're the body's natural anti-inflammatories. Next, he tries something else, chicken breast without skin, gently poached. It's not exciting, but it's clean. Pure protein, easy to digest, low in fat. A week later, his daughter visits and brings him a homemade tofu and turkey stir-fry. "I found this recipe online," she says. "Figured it might be something you'd like." He tries it. The turkey is soft, flavorful, with a hint of ginger. He feels good afterward, not heavy, not tired. Then, one rainy afternoon, he experiments with sardines, small, oily fish he once ignored. He cooks them gently with garlic and a touch of olive oil. They're rich, salty, satisfying, and they're full of calcium, iron, and those same powerful omega-3s. He finds out later that small fish carry fewer toxins than large ones, making them safer and more potent for seniors like him. He doesn't miss the bacon anymore. He doesn't miss the steak. Because now each meal feels like an act of care, not a restriction, but a restoration. He's not giving things up. He's getting things back. His walks get longer. His puzzles get easier. The brain fog lifts, little by little. He starts to feel like himself again, not the younger version, but the wiser one. The version that chooses foods not just for taste, but for tomorrow. And when his brother calls from rehab, Mr. Tanaka tells him everything he's learned. "It's not too late," he says. "You just need to change your plate." It's been 3 months. Mr. Tanaka doesn't feel younger, but he feels clearer, lighter, more aware. He no longer eats out of habit. He eats with intention. Each piece of salmon, each sliver of turkey, each forkful of grilled chicken or sardines, he knows what it's doing. Not just filling his stomach, but fueling his mind, softening his joints, strengthening the small muscles that help him stay steady on his feet. His memory still plays tricks on him sometimes, but now he notices it less. Maybe because his thoughts aren't wrapped in fog anymore. Maybe because he's sleeping better, laughing more. Maybe because he feels in control again. And that, he realizes, is the most powerful part. He thought getting older meant giving things up, but now he sees it's about choosing differently, choosing wisely, not to chase youth, but to honor the life that's still unfolding, the walks he hasn't taken yet, the books he still wants to read, the hands he still wants to hold. He still eats meat, but not the kind that weighs him down, only the kind that lifts him up. And he wonders gently how many others are out there, feeling tired, foggy, achy, blaming age when maybe it's just the wrong food on the plate. So if you're watching this, he would say one thing: you're not too old to change, not too old to heal, not too late to feel better than yesterday. Your health isn't behind you, it's right here, one meal at a time. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Is there a meat you've recently stopped eating, or one you've discovered makes you feel stronger? Share your thoughts in the comments below. It might help someone else on their journey too. And if you found this story helpful or comforting, consider sharing it with a loved one who might need a little reminder. Healing is possible, even now, especially now. Until next time, stay kind to your body and gentle with yourself.